Toff with Giordano, 2-on-1. Michael Backlund shoots, scores!
Benning, great move. Here is Benning, shot, scores!
Comes free to Shane. Blocked by Lucic. Ran him over.
And he wins it back to Toffoli, scores! No way! Oh my! No way! For Fiddler, backhand to scores! Oh my!
And it is Gilmore waiting around the net, waiting.
Backstrom slides it in front, scores! Jason Chimera!
Kept in by Matthews. Here it is. Scores! 5 minutes into overtime in Game 5. And McDavid scores! Game winner! Series winner for Connor McDavid! I have been Alberta bound for all my life. And I'll be Alberta bound until I die.
Welcome back to the Two Mutts podcast presented by Pete's Concrete. I'm your host, Joshua Marshall, and I am riding solo early this morning / this afternoon. Here we are on a beautiful Tuesday morning here in Edmonton, Alberta, and Alberta bound as it is for the Edmonton Oilers as they will come home down 0-2 against the Florida Panthers, but we aren't really here to talk about that. We'll talk a little bit about that this afternoon, but the main conversation that we're going to be having today is with a friend of the podcast and a former Stanley Cup champion winner. Well, he was a Stanley Cup champion winner with the LA Kings, and we were happy to have Tyler Toffoli back on the Two Mutts podcast. So Toff will be joining us very soon. So you guys aren't really here to listen to me. You guys are here to listen to Toff. So we're going to get to that interview very shortly here, and I just want to say thanks to Toff for joining us for the second time. He's been a great support for us and through our program with our Mutts Foundation kids, where these kids get to meet some of these NHL players and take some pictures with them and get some autographs with them. And obviously one of the kids grew very dearly to him, and also Toff did a good job kind of taking him and in terms of, giving him some extra confidence in his hockey game, and that was young Illia. So a good relationship that those two guys have for the last couple of years, and we'll see how that goes going forward. Looking forward to probably the third time that those two get to kind of have a conversation after a game. But our whole important and our part of this podcast is shine the light on the players. Without the players, we are not here. So always giving the stick taps to the players. So Toff is one of the great ones for us, and he's been very great to our podcast over these couple of years, and very excited to hear this conversation with him, and looking forward to sharing that with you guys here. So without further ado, let's get to our interview with Tyler Toffoli right now.
When you hire a contractor, you want things to go smooth.
Smooth as a driveway poured by Pete's Concrete.
You want a solid guarantee.
Solid as a basement floor by Pete's Concrete.
You want Pete.
Pete's Concrete. For sidewalks, patios, your leaky basement, Pete lays his reputation down with every job, and he offers you finishes and colors you won't find anywhere else.
You want someone who proudly puts their name on the work they do.
Pete puts his name in concrete.
Pete's Concrete.
We interrupt the Two Mutts podcast to bring you some breaking news. Manscaped now sells beard products. That's right. They are once again revolutionizing men's grooming with the brand new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. From a fresh shave to a beard trim, the technology behind the Beard Hedger Pro Kit allows you to shape your signature beard look. Now, you can finally use Manscaped products to make your drapes match your carpet by going to manscaped.com and using code 2MUTS for 20% off and free shipping. Listen, I'm a real lazy guy. I hate shaving every day. Ask my wife. I leave thousands and thousands of little stubble in the sink. It's time to tame your mane. No one likes a weird beard. Say goodbye to all your stubble trouble with Manscaped's Pro Beard Kit. It all starts with the Beard Hedger. This thing is a juggernaut of fixin' faces. First off, this cordless trimmer has a rotary wheel that gives you 20 hair cutting lengths all with one guard. So no more messy drawers full of extra add-ons. That's right. Face grooming does not need to be hard. Get 20 different beard lengths in just one guard. Plus, it's waterproof, so you can please your wife and shave in the shower to avoid all that hair in the sink. The titanium-coated T-blade is tough on hair but smooth on your face, leading to single-stroke efficiency that brings satisfaction one stroke at a time. This kit does not end there, though. They have created 4 dermatologist-tested formulations for your post-trim care. First, beard shampoo and conditioner, then beard oil, and finally, beard balm. The Pro Beard Kit also comes with 3 free gifts: a beard brush, comb, and scissors to ensure your beard is ready to impress. So get 20% off and free shipping with the code 2MUTS at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code 2MUTS. Manscaped. Beard hedger, 1 stroke, 1 guard, 20 lengths.
Mutts fans, our next guest has played 812 games in the regular season, where he scored 260 goals and has 261 assists for 521 points. He's played 93 games in the playoffs with 20 goals, 26 assists for 46 points. And 10 years ago, where the team he got drafted in the second round, he won a Stanley Cup with the LA Kings, and he is back on the 2 Mutts podcast. We'd like to welcome Tyler Toffoli. Toff, how's it going?
Awesome. Same old.
Same old, just living life, eh? So,
exactly.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, man. I guess maybe we'll kind of go down a little bit memory lane here. Like, obviously, you got a reunion coming up with that team, and we got the Stanley Cup Finals going on right now. Edmonton and Florida are in it, and obviously you have some former teammates, I guess, on both sides of the equation here. But what kind of brings back memories when you won that cup, and kind of the support leaders and the support players you guys had? Because everything I hear, you guys had like 23 captains on that team. It was quite a great group you had.
Yeah, no, definitely excited to see all the guys again at the reunion, and it's gonna be fun. We have the email chain of all the guys coming, and it sounds like pretty much everyone's in. So it's gonna be good, and trying to work with the details of traveling out to LA and get everything kind of set up, and it's gonna be a great time.
Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. There's one player on that team I want to talk about that maybe might not get a lot of credit. And, I was seeing these highlights the other day, and you're kind of like maybe a good luck charm because you're on the ice when he scores. Is Alec Martinez, and the game-winning goals and the OT goals that he scored for you guys. Can you talk about, him as a player and him as a person, and maybe he might not get a lot of credit from some of the outsiders in the game?
Yeah, no, he definitely kind of, went under the radar in a sense of the guys that we had on D, and he definitely played huge minutes, and was obviously a major piece in the reason why we won. And but I mean, I think a lot of the guys would say the way that he is off the ice is almost more incredible. He's such a great human, and for him to score that goal and the goal to get us to the final in general, honestly couldn't happen to a better guy. So.
Yeah. Do you remember anything about that play and like how that kind of, I know it's 10 years ago, but is there just how special that probably was? And just obviously you got some great clutch players on your team in that aspect.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the overtime in general was wild. Some of the things that happened, I think Voinov blocked a shot somehow. I think it was Rick Nash had a wide open net, and Slava threw a stick and it hit a shaft, and I think I hit a crossbar. They had a couple breakaways. So I think when it came down to it, and everyone, it's funny, obviously like the shot off the pad, but I think if you watch the replay, I'm trying to go high glove, and that also got deflected.
Yeah.
So I think it was just good play, good D all around. I think Greener made a good play in the D zone, and Marty jumped in the rush, and Cliffy kicked it out, and kind of the rest is history.
Nice. All right. Yeah. So earlier you were just kind of talking about, getting back on the ice and whatnot, kind of before we hit record and whatnot there. But how's the off season going, and how often are you skating, and, how excited are you for this upcoming season, as you will be I guess, a pending UFA, and we'll see what happens with the cap going up, and looking forward to kind of maybe what happens there. But, this summer and how interesting this off season could be for you and your family.
Yeah, I think, you lose out in the playoffs, and there's obviously the little down period. And I think for whatever reason, I kind of had the itch to get in the gym earlier and start skating earlier. And it kind of feels like a lot of guys are almost kind of doing it the same way. And I wouldn't say the skates are extremely hard, but it's just kind of the, skill stuff and feeling the puck and just getting back used to it, going on the ice 2-3 times a week. And it's still so early in the summer or in the off season that there's still plenty of time, but I kind of had the itch to get back out there and skating with a couple guys and just kind of having fun with it.
Yeah, you probably got a pretty good group there. I know going to kind of watch the ones here we have in Edmonton are, some pretty good players that have, laced them up out here too. But, kind of building those relationships in the game are pretty cool when you get out there and kind of learn some probably new skill sets, I'm assuming, with some good skills coaches. And, obviously you have a pretty good group around there. And, Curtis Lazar is kind of a guy I know a little bit from back here in Edmonton. Not too well. It's been a while. I haven't seen him, but, I know you're kind of close with him, and I guess maybe a good friendship you have there. I think because one of the cool things with you, Toff, is like you're such a good job of building relationship with so many guys, and you're almost like that guy, like maybe the Jack Campbell type, where you're invited to almost every single wedding because, like obviously Jake Evans you're pretty close with. So you're one of those like great guys that everyone wants to be friends with too. So I think how cool is that to kind of be in that aspect of things too?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously it definitely helps, I mean, I haven't wanted to be, moved around as much as it's happened, but when you're moved around and you've been on 5-6 teams, it makes things easier. And when you're in new places, kind of in the off season, it helps to be able to just go on the ice. And I wouldn't say it's awkward, but that phase of not really knowing very many guys, whereas we're here, I'm skating. Obviously, I was with Jersey last year, and I'm in Jersey right now, but with Laser and Kevin Ball, or it's the three of us right now, kind of skating, and it's been good. Like you said, new skills coach who kind of doing different things that I haven't really done on the ice before, and like I said, it's still so early in the summer. It's been fun, and just kind of messing around, getting some good sweats out there, and it's been good.
Yeah, I know. I was watching you on TSN when you got traded. I kind of felt bad because you're just like almost running through all the Canadian teams here and whatnot. But and hopefully this summer you guys get some more security and get that all get sorted out in ways you can kind of be where you are for quite a few years. But we'll let that process play itself out as it is. But before we kind of go over to what's happened recently, I know the last time we had you on, you just got with the Flames, and you had a pretty good time with the Calgary Flames. And I kind of want to wonder, like, what your thoughts are on, like, obviously Michael Backlund being a captain, and he's been on our podcast before. Like, I know he's a former teammate of yours, but a guy that you spent a couple of years with, and obviously a great guy on the ice and also off the ice. Were you pretty happy to kind of see him get that C finally in that role that he did, and probably rightfully deserved?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously I was there for a year and a half, or give or take, and Bax was always he was always the captain. I think everybody looked up to him in that sense, and it just, they hadn't named a captain since Gio left, right? So
correct.
It was what it was. I don't know if that affected anything, or I never really talked to him in the sense of if that was going to change, if he wanted to stay there or not. But he seems happy there. I know that, when you're in one spot, as long as he is, it makes that decision a little bit easier in the sense of, his family's there. He's got everything kind of dialed in, and definitely happy for him. And I think the way that, Calgary came on in the second half of the season there, I think good things are going to come to them, and especially in the sense of, when they traded Hanny and Tanny and everyone, those are two really big pieces of their team, and they were still finding ways to win. So yeah, I think things are looking good. I think Husk is a good coach, and guys are really looking forward to his leadership. And, I think it ended up being a relatively successful season for them.
Yeah. We got our credentials for our media pass through the Flames this year, finally, through our podcast, and, kind of just being around that group this year. And, they've been so great to us, in terms of like, obviously Peter Hanlon's I think one of a great stand-up person, really good person. And I think you spoke really highly right there of Ryan Husk. I was very surprised for, what he had to kind of deal with, and, losing obviously a key player in you going into the season this year. And as the year went on, losing some other key players. You go to Jersey, let's talk about there. It almost seemed like it was a really good fit, Toff, for you. Like, it seemed like you had some really good chemistry, from watching you this year on TV and then being at that one game that I got to see you after. It seems like you kind of got into a good comfort zone with them. Or was that safe to say? Like, how great was that group to kind of be around?
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. It's such a young group here that, coming to the rink every day, it was, guys are excited to jump on the ice and try and get better. And I think that kind of, made things a lot easier for me. And like you said earlier, in the sense of being able to make new friends, I made some friends here that I still talk to all the time, even though, they're back home in their summer, spots or whatever. We text all the time. And I think it was just unfortunate. We had a lot of injuries kind of early, like all throughout the year. It felt like every time somebody got healthy, somebody else got hurt, and big pieces too. So definitely frustrated. And at the same time, that's the way it is. That's the way the season goes. It's not always going to be pretty, and you have to find ways to win. And we had opportunities when I was still here to string some games together, and we ended up losing to some of the bottom teams that kind of came into Jersey and just played really good games, and kind of lost momentum. And then obviously, me getting moved and everything, it kind of changes, right? So
yeah. Can you say it's like that the future is going to be bright there too? Obviously, you're talking about Calgary being bright future there too, but there's some really good players there, some really young upcoming stars. Can you talk about kind of being around those guys and what you have learned from the veterans that you've been around to pass that on to some of those younger players too, and how great that is to be in that leadership role?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the average age in Jersey right now is like 25.
Yeah,
and half those guys are borderline, if not already all-stars. So obviously the future is bright, and it's an exciting time. And expectations were really high going into the season. I mean, with how good they were a couple years ago, and nobody really expected them to do what they did. And then, winning a round in the playoffs, expectations for coming into the season when training camp started were, win. And
yeah,
it's not easy when a team is so young, and there's a lot of pressure, and obviously we were winning games earlier in the season, and it wasn't necessarily games you should have been winning. We were winning games, 6-5, 7-5, and our power play was going 4-for-4, so
yeah.
Obviously you want your power play to be doing well, but at some point things kind of go cold, and definitely frustration sort of built up in a sense, and couldn't find our way out of it.
Yeah. Was there a sense that you knew maybe a trade was on the horizon for you, and were you kind of involved in terms of like where you might want to go? Was that ever kind of a conversation for you?
There wasn't. I mean, there's always a possibility when, at the same time, I think when I got traded, we were 6 points out. We weren't like far out, so I didn't really know. I had some conversations, but it wasn't necessarily anything of, this was going to happen. It wasn't going to happen, and not having any trade protection, you never really know what's going to happen. So it's almost one of those things, you don't know a team's even interested in you, and then all of a sudden, you see your name on a TSN trade bait list or whatever, and I went from 25 on the list to number 2 out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden I'm in Winnipeg. And,
yeah.
Your life gets flipped upside down again, and you're on the move.
Yeah. I know I saw the video of you and Colin Miller, and you guys were with, I think, your wife there too. I think it was Mark Chipman flew you guys to Winnipeg pretty quick and kind of got a good welcome there. Can you talk about maybe your short time there in Winnipeg, and obviously Rick Bowness kind of stepping down and retiring as a coach, and just what he's done for this game, and a coach in almost over 3,000 games too in the NHL is pretty remarkable, and to say that as well.
Yeah, no, it was great. I mean, walking in the locker room, was an older-ish team, so I mean, I played against them all, especially in Calgary. A little bit of a rivalry there. played against a lot of the guys in junior too. So it was really easy to go in the locker room. They opened up with, open arms, and everybody was incredible there. It definitely sucks that, things fell short there. And we ran into a Colorado team that was playing, lights out. So, it's one of those things you almost have to tip your cap, but we definitely, we struggled a little bit. We weren't playing the defensive kind of structure that we wanted to. And before you know it, the series is over and everything, is what it is.
Yeah. I know Tyler Seguin talked about it when they got eliminated against Dallas in terms of being like how hard this league is to win, and you won a Stanley Cup, but unfortunately too, you were on the other end of it of losing one in that COVID year. But the fact that you won it, you knew how much it takes to win. Can you explain to kind of the listeners and the fans of like how hard this league is to win? And I think and you would probably say the same thing. This is probably the hardest trophy in professional sports to win.
Yeah. I mean, every game is different. You can win game 1, 5-0. And then all of a sudden you go game 2 and it's the complete opposite. There's no bad team that makes the playoffs. Plenty of really good teams barely miss the playoffs, and they can go on runs. I mean, you look at Florida last year; they barely snuck in, and then they make it to the finals. The year when I was in Montreal, we made it to the finals. We kind of barely snuck in, and then all of a sudden, we played Toronto. We beat them in 7, and we play. I think it was Winnipeg, who had just swept Edmonton, who was a favorite, and then all of a sudden we sweep them.
Yeah.
So it's anything can happen in the playoffs. Every day is different, and it's a matter of kind of who gets hot at the right time and who can stay healthy. You're playing every day, and you're traveling every 4 days. It's not easy. So there's tons of factors that go into it, and that's what makes it so great is when you can finally win. And I mean, unfortunately, it hasn't been easy for me. It's been 10 years or 11 years, whatever it's been, and I've been close, but at the end of the day, like, not really. So there's always that extra motivation to do it again. And if you're not going in every season trying to win or thinking you have a chance to win, then it sucks.
Yeah, I'm not going to do the JT Miller what he did to your buddy Lindy. Obviously, Miller too. I don't know if you saw that press conference at the end of the year.
No,
so it was kind of funny at their exit conference. The Vancouver media asked, would Lindholm want to resign, and it was actually Demko and Miller were like, be specific on term and money and dollars and all that. So I'm not going to do that to you, but I know I'm going to see Paul Bissonnette tomorrow, so he's probably going to tell me I should have did it. But him, he's just going to call it how he kind of sees it. But we'll transition over to kind of some baseball, some fun stuff here, and we'll get you out a couple more questions here. But Justin Turner, obviously a dear friend of yours, gets with the Blue Jays here, obviously a hometown team that you love. Obviously you have a great tie to the LA Dodgers, and you always will. But I know they haven't been going as great throughout the whole year, but it looks like lately they're kind of doing better. They're winning some series. They're getting 2 out of 3 here. So they're winning those series that they have. But, I know recently you and your family, and I was talking to Mike Fuda yesterday, and you guys got to all connect and go to a game. But how cool is it to see Justin Turner playing for a hometown team in the Toronto Blue Jays?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I mean, it's one of those things where wanted to try and get to see him when he was in Boston, but it didn't end up working out in Boston. I saw him when he played the Yankees, but being able to go to Toronto and see my parents, go for dinner with my parents, and then go to a game with my wife, it was awesome. He tossed me a ball and we were sitting in like the 20th row or whatever it was, and I don't think I felt that much pressure.
Yeah,
many years of trying to catch it. So it was cool. It's always great to see him, to see his wife, and they're obviously expecting a child relatively soon too. So it's an exciting time for him, and I know they're having a really good time in Toronto.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's he was on Overdrive not too long ago. I think I might have sent you the clip there, but he was talking to Noodles and O-Dog there and Hayes about, his relationship with you and how he's always cheering for you. So I think it's always cool, these different athletes in different sports kind of pulling for each other. And I think the game's done, like, where are you at with the game, Toff, in terms of like ESPN covering it, TNT? Like, I think these are good ways to kind of grow the game and get more revenue in the game too, with the game being more marketed in the US and kind of having the obviously the biz nasties and I got Pat Maffix's show right on in front of me here, and I think what he's done for the game of hockey too is pretty cool too. Where are you at with that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's one of those things where the game wasn't growing, kind of at all for many years there, and I think they're doing the best that they can, and it's slowly getting there. I think PK is doing a really good job as well. I think the way that he's approaching the game and the things that he's doing for it is awesome, and I think that's what they have to do. They have to put the games on ESPN and try and promote it as much as they can, because I mean, if you look at it, there's so many other sports that are rapidly growing, and it's felt like the NHL was kind of a stalemate for so long, and like I said, I think they're doing a lot better job now, and I think that's one of the reasons why the cap's going up is because of those reasons. So hopefully it can keep going. I know they're really trying to get the players to be more active on social media and do all those things, and it's not easy because there's the old school guys coming in the locker room, and it's always it's a different life, and I try and get on social media every once in a while, but there's a lot of different aspects to it. So I think they're doing a good job, and it's slowly growing and getting to the place that it should be.
Yeah, with the Amazon series too, and well said by you. How do you think that's going to go too? Obviously, we're seeing a little bit of clips of it being done here, but obviously, a couple of years ago, the Leafs did that, and now they think they marketed a couple stars here in doing it. Is that something maybe you would be interested in down the road too, and being involved in something like that?
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I mean, you look at Netflix. I've never been like a Formula One guy, and all of a sudden I'm watching the Formula One, and I'm actually watching the races sometimes now. So it definitely helps, and I think anything goes a long way now. And I'm definitely excited to see that. And it's always funny, before the games, you see who's mic'd up. So I think we played Colorado late in the year, and I think we beat them like 7-1 or something. And you see that Nate's mic'd up, and I don't know if there was somebody else mic'd up too, but it's always funny and to see kind of how everybody reacts and the day in the life sort of thing of all the players, and it's not easy. And I hope that the people realize how much of a grind it is over the 82 games, and I hope they enjoy it, and it is what it is.
Yeah, perfect. That's awesome. Last one here before we get you out. Obviously, a couple of years ago you met young Illia, and then you got to meet him again this year. And like you said, when you saw him the second time, he's growing, and man, that kid's grown since last time you saw him here in December. But our podcast is very focal and big on like putting the spotlight on you guys as players, because I believe if we're not here today, if it wasn't for the players, but one of the things we've wanted to do, and we've done it, I think it's over 1,000 kids we brought to morning skates and getting to meet some NHL players, and you've kind of grown into a good little cool thing with Illia here. In terms of that, I'm sure maybe you do it throughout the season in other markets and whatnot, but how cool is it to kind of get back to the game, grow little relationships and friendships with that, and always seeing it, because what you did for this kid, Toff, is gone right to his legs and everything. Like, he's watching your plays, just trying to emulate the same shot as you, knowing he's a left shot, you're a right shot. But how cool is that to kind of have that opportunity in this game?
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I mean, I was one of those kids growing up in Toronto too. Going to Leaf games and trying to get high fives from all the guys going on and off the ice. And whenever I have someone, like yourself or a friend that asks for a little something to say hi for 5 minutes, unless I'm injured or I can't, take the 5 minutes after a game on the road, which sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes, things are tight. We're trying to catch a flight or whatever it is. But I mean, the 5 minutes, in my opinion, can go a long way. And you've brought, many of the kids down before, and you say hi, you shake their hands, and you take a photo. And like you said, that goes a long way for anyone. So, like I said, I try and go out of my way whenever that happens. And I have, my dad's asked me some of his buddies that are in town and Florida or something like that. I'll go say hi to them too. So it is what it is. I understand that. I think it's one of those things. I play in the NHL, and a lot of people, kids, adults look up to me in a way, and try and have as much fun with it, and realize that, yeah, it's my job, but it's also a game, and you got to enjoy every second of it. And I think that's part of the game and part of playing in the NHL.
Yeah, no, I'm 40 years old. I just turned 40, and I look up to you, man. Like, I look up to a lot of these guys. There's a lot of great people, and the relationship I've gotten with Toff, I mean, with you and Foots, and the other great ones that we've had on, and even texting Trevor Lewis here, another great guy, great teammate of yours, and him and Anzi Kopitar came up this year too and met the kids, and it was just kind of awesome. So Toff, all the best to you. Continued success going forward. I hope great things happen to you here come July 1st, and have a great summer, and keep that training going on, and looking forward to rocking at a jersey this year, and all the best to your family, man. It's a pleasure having you on.
I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Bye.
Huge thanks to Tyler Toffoli for joining us. That was a great 20-25 minutes that we just had with him. And, that's kind of how we kind of put it at the end, guys, is, we're not here if it wasn't for the players and the great things that the players have done for us in our game and continue to do for our game. And, it's an honor, it's a privilege that we can able to bring kids to our minor morning skates with the Edmonton Oilers, and having the other teams, like Tyler when he was with the Devils, and when he was with the Flames, coming to say hi to Illia. That stuff means a lot to us, and means a lot to our fans, and it's kind of cool when we're in this rink at those morning skates. We're like the only ones there besides the media. So it kind of really resonates, how special that is, that this is something that we've been doing for 3 years, and looking forward to doing it this fourth season coming up, as the new season will be starting next year. And, just great on the Oilers for allowing us to do this, and then great on the other teams allowing, and the players obviously coming up and doing it too. So it's something that we're going to continue to keep doing. We love it so much, and our coaches get so much out of it too, because they get to learn some new drills as the kids get to see how these players practice before a big game. And how many of these kids probably go a lifetime maybe emulating this game and watching this game and playing this game, but never get an opportunity to meet an NHL player. So the fact that they get to do that is pretty awesome. And if you guys want to be a part of that stuff, just reach out to us. If you have a request for next year, you want to bring one of your teams in, just let us know. It's always kind of teams we're associated with, but we're open to like all these teams in the city to do it. So if you have a family friend that's on a different team or whatever, we'll get you guys through. There's 41 games to do that, and the Oilers are open to us doing it 41 times if we have to do it 41 times. So it's it's pretty cool, and we obviously got to do it in the playoffs here, and that's even crazy that we even got to do that, and coaches and players coming to say hi, media members coming to say hi. It's it's something that's definitely pretty awesome. And like I said earlier, when you get the opportunity to like sit there and look and see that we're the only ones in there sharing these moments with these players, it's pretty cool. It resonates a lot. So we're looking forward to the fact that we're able to do this and doing it again. And like I said, like getting Tyler to come spend 5 minutes with Illia a couple different times, literally, like I seen it in that kid where his confidence level just skyrocketed after moments like this. And it's just like, it's so cool to like introduce them, and then like you just stand back and you just watch them talk hockey for like 5 straight minutes, and they're both just smiling, and they get a picture after, get an autograph after. That's what it's all about, and Tyler resonates that and understands that. And so did the other great ones that we've had come by and say hi to. So, yeah, we're looking forward to kind of having another episode of Roundtable. I know we didn't break down anything of Game 2 here, so apologize to that. This was just a special jump in pod with Toff, but we're looking forward to the next episode. I think maybe Craig Button might join us. We'll see. He's obviously a Stanley Cup champion, so and I know Clay Vanderham and Brody McIntyre are looking forward to maybe getting out here too. I think Clay said he's out all this week, so we might not be able to do anything this week with Vandy, but maybe Craig Button and Brody and I can do an interview and talk about the Game 3 and how pivotal this Game 3 is for the Oilers as the venue shifts back here to Edmonton, and the weather's been good. here obviously probably a bit of a rain day here on Wednesday as this podcast will drop. But again, everyone, check on your buddies, check on your friends, stay kind, stay humble. We love you guys. We're always thinking of the people that are struggling, that are reaching out to us. We're there with you guys. And, we appreciate all the love that everyone's given us, and we're giving you guys back. And, life's short, and enjoy every moment you possibly can. And it means a lot to build these relationships that we have throughout the National Hockey League. So take care, everyone.
If it's done right the first time, you don't have to redo it. If you get Pete's Concrete to pour your driveway, you don't need a repeat. When your patio is a PDO, you don't need a repeat. When Pete's Concrete fixes your sidewalk, all it takes is once. You don't need a repeat. And if your basement leaks, a Pete's Repair helps avoid a repeat. Get it done right the first time with the colors and textures you want, so you don't have to redo it. For concrete, you can choose Pete's or repeats. Pete's Concrete.